Welcome, my amazing viewers. Thank you so much for joining me on my program once again. I appreciate you wherever you are connecting from. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please kindly subscribe to my channel. Click the notification bell so that you're notified each time I upload a video. You will be among the first to receive it. Thank you so much and remain blessed.
Thank you so much for staying with us. My guest is a professor of obstetrics, gynecology, and philosophy, physiology, American trained. He's former governor of Enugu State and a sitting senator, Chimaroke Naman. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you.
So let's start with the rush for PVCs by young Nigerians.
Thank you. Firstly, I must thank you for this opportunity to engage and convey my deep respect to your founder, High Chief Edokpesi. And of course, I cannot really do this without giving a shout out to my people in Enugu and the Ebanos.
Your constituency.
Yes. The rush for PVCs has to do with the youth, with the population out there trying to seize the moment, trying to take their destiny into their own hands, which is consistent with globalization and self-awareness. It's understandable.
Okay. Now, it's all about participating to be part of the 2023 electoral process. And there are permutations about the power trajectory. Where will it end up? How is it going to swing? What do you read out of it?
Well, you cannot discuss power trajectory in Nigeria without looking at the foundation, which is Nigeria's history itself. Nigeria is not an accidental nation. Nigeria did not just drop. Nigeria is a derived nation. Nigeria's nationhood derived on agreement by the contending African ethnic nationalities within the geographical area called Nigeria. So for you to establish that, you must do a historical review, going all the way to Lagos colony 1861, bringing you all the way to the amalgamation of the Lagos colony and the Southern Protectorate, the amalgamation of Northern Protectorate and Southern Protectorate 1940, and the various constitutional amendments. Clifford Constitution, Richard's Constitution, Macpherson Constitution, Little II Constitution, and Independent Constitution. And you must remember that by 58-59, Eastern region was self-governing. I believe Western region self-governing. I remember the Enahoro
as early as 1957 even.
Enahoro motion for independence now, 1953, and North State independence when practicable. So that is how the nation state derived, on a tripod. Tripod, east, west, north. Or you could say in terms of major tribes, the Igbo nation, Yoruba nation, Hausa Fulani, and then the other minorities, unquote. So the nation was derived on a tripodal foundation. Okay. That nation state that Azikiwe joined, Sardauna joined, Aworo joined, is different from the nation state there. So that power trajectory has been deflected. Deflected as a result of the activities of 66, right? The coup, counter coup, the war effort, where Nigeria was carved up into 12 states, subsequently 19 and 36 states. So because of the deflection, you remember you had a wave of militarism all through Africa, from Gamal Abdel Nasser in Egypt, going through North Africa, Ahmed Bembela, Bugiba, down to West Africa, Ghana, Kwame Nkrumah, the Olympio brothers in Togo, Maga in Benin. So you had dislocation, total dislocation, military adventurism. So within the Nigerian state itself, the Igbos were not part. They were not on the table during these episodes where Nigeria's reconfiguration took place.
Except that they started it in 1966 when Agi Ironsi was the head of state.
Yes, but Agi Ironsi died. Subsequently, the state creation was a war effort to dislodge, to somehow inhibit the Biafran war effort. So from 67 all the way to today, our people were not on the table. We're during the new configuration of the present Nigerian state. So what has happened, what the situation now is that we become a quasi-minority. Because we are a quasi, let me give you a simple example.
Based on the structure, present structure of the country?
Yes, simple. We started a business, table 5 feet high, right? Table 5 feet high, right? You jump 5 feet, you arrive at the table, right? Okay. Others arrived 5 feet. Now that table is 10 feet high, right? For the Igbos to jump for the Southeast to jump 10 feet high, you need to give them a hand, an affirmative action. That is zoning.
So without, what you're saying is that based on the present structure, it will be difficult for the Igbos to rise to the presidency.
Yes, I'm saying Southeast. I'm saying Southeast. I'm saying there are two options. Either an affirmative action that will lend the Igbo or the Southeasterner an opportunity to get up and sit at the table. Because under normal circumstances, because of the engineered quasi-minority status that the Igbo has been placed through a prolonged war of political attrition, right? The Igbo has suffered a war of political attrition. For the Igbo to get to that table, there must be affirmative action. Either that or a conference of ethnic nationalities where the thieves, the Dormers, the Biroms, the Igbos, the Yorubas, the House of Fulanis, the Nupes, the Shekiris, the Urubus, the Ijaws have to come on equal representation.
That's a kind of a conference, national conference. Let's start with the affirmative action. What do you mean exactly by that?
What I mean by affirmative action is zoning and actual process using zoning methodology to deflect the power trajectory. So it returns to the nation state to which our progenitors agreed to.
That's zoning infused into the constitution.
Doesn't have to. No. Which who is, you see that is the basic mistake. That is basic mistake. Who is going to infuse it into the constitution? You see, the guys that were in a federating units, right? Mutually exclusive units. What the Igbo will get, the Yoruba will lose. Right? What the Yoruba will get, the Igbo will lose.
It's a zero-sum game.
Zero-sum game. So how are they going to accept? You don't even have the numbers for the constitutional amendment. You don't. The easiest way to run away from a problem in this country is to go to constitution. Because constitutionally you can't. We just went through constitutional amendment. Everything that came through for FCT was thrown away. Right? Everything that came through for gender parity and gender empowerment was thrown away. Right? Because the guys who have the advantage, they're not going to stop. It's a race.
Now, let's consider the second option you talked about.
Yes.
The national conference option.
Yes.
The agitation has been on for some time.
Yes.
We saw semblance of it that wasn't fully implemented. And now agitations for anyone to come up.
Yes. You see, you can't talk about zoning anymore. The offices have been inherently and naturally zoned. Right? They've been automatically zoned. Those who have the powers, those who have gained advantage over the years, have utilized the advantages. The option now is for a conference, let all the ethnic nationalities come to the table and reconfigure Nigeria to what our fathers had in mind when they joined the nation state. Nigeria is not an accidental nation. Right? People join Nigeria based on 40 years, 50 years from now, this is where our sons and daughters will be. Right? That projection did not happen because of the activities of 66, 67. Therefore, we need a reconfiguration based. If you're talking about justice, he who comes to equity must come with clean hands. Right? If not, the agitation will continue. The confusion will continue. The disquietude. For you to have lasting peace in the land, there must be justice. We don't need to keep begging. Zone to us. Zone. No. Reconfigure. Now, make it equal.
Yes.
Level playing field.
That reconfiguration you said may not be possible by a constitution.
No, it will not.
I'm thinking of the legal basis for this national conference. The legal basis, what will be the role of the National Assembly in all this?
Yes. what is the legal basis for the constitution? People get together. We get together, agree. Conference of ethnic nationalities based on equality. We agree. When we now agree, we now put it for legislation. But to legislate ab initio will not work. We will not work. After all, we once had doctrine of necessity in this country, right? Was it in the constitution? Right? We had doctrine of necessity.
So a similar thing?
Yes. So it's an exigency. It's a necessity.
That is, if the present structure of the National Assembly, you rightly said, is resistant to change, will he also pass this legislation of being a product of the National Conference?
The present structure of the National Assembly is skewed. It is skewed. It is a product of machinations that they excluded the Southeast, that reconfigured us into a minority. That is why each electoral period we have to beg for zoning. Give us a level playing field. Equality in terms of states. Equality in terms of local government. Then let's go play based on equality.
Yeah, what I'm saying is that the product of the National Conference will still come to the National Assembly. And the numbers are not there.
No, we would have had an agreement before that. We would have had an agreement before that. In the interest of the nation. We would have had an agreement before that.
What form of agreement?
By the ethnic nationalities. Each Nigerian comes to the table from somewhere. We all have addresses. Whether you're Tiv or Yoruba, you're Shekiri, you're Yoruba. Let all the nationalities come together, sign an agreement, then their representatives in the assembly will legislate on it.
So
that is the only
compelled. They will see reasons because it's a national agreement.
Yes, yes.
They will have no other option.
If you're talking about true justice in this country, it must happen. If it does not happen in our lifetime, it's going to happen in the lifetime of our children. You cannot continue a doctrine of dichotomy. Dichotomy of those who are born to rule and those who are born to serve. It can't happen. It can't happen. The Nigerian citizenship must be equalized. The second-class citizenship is untenable. Right? Right? It's untenable. Those who serve at the master's table will one day need to sit at the master's table to be served too. That is the only justice that is left.
Turn by turn, Nigeria Limited. Yes. Apologies to the Lagos PDP chieftain Olabode. But this equality, did it exist prior to the military interventions? You mentioned the
yes. Remember I told you. Yes. Okay. Look at Clifford Constitution 1922 gave those who had £100 the right to vote. 1946 Richard's Constitution brought it down to £50, and that was how two Nigerians emerged in the Executive Council: Aderemo Alakija and Bankole Rhodes. Right. It was Governor General Bodilon that now said East, West, North. And in terms of House of Representatives, it was, I believe it was 34, and double that. There was a conflict in 1946 where the North demanded equalization. It was based on that the Richard's Constitution came out. Based on that, McPherson. And after the inaugural motion for independence, there was also unrest in the North. Hence, the little Constitution. Even when you're talking about the pre-independence Constitution, there was also a secession clause, right? It was Azikiwe that pressured, that made so secession clause was removed. So Nigeria, yes. So we're not here by accident. Our fathers negotiated for a Nigeria, right? A Nigeria for their sons and for their forebears. That is not the Nigeria you have today. Nigeria you have today has been refigured, whereby some have become second-class citizens. And I'm saying that the unrest, the restiveness will continue. Will continue. The system as it is now is untenable.
Okay.
He who comes to equity must come with clean hands.
We'll go on a break. When we come back, we'll look at that restiveness you mentioned and how it could be curtailed in the meantime. Not minding, of course, the long-term effect, which he says should be the solution. Remember, this program is interactive. Welcome your tweets, our Twitter feeds on the screen. Stay with us as we go on this break.
Did you know that AIT's social media handles have all changed? If you are one of the millions of our followers on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, this is introducing to you AIT's new official and rebranded social media handles. Like or follow us now on our Facebook page, Official AIT Live. If you're on Twitter, switch to our new handle at Official AIT Live and activate the notification button to get breaking news and updates on the go. For exclusive short videos and photo news, follow our Instagram account at Official AIT Live. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Official AIT Live, and enjoy live streaming of news and your favorite programs, where you can also watch our broadcast materials at your own convenience. Note that Official AIT Live is the only authentic social media profile name with all the handles on our website ait.live, with a notification prompt to accept and receive breaking news and updates on the go. Log on to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube platforms on your smartphone, tablet device, laptop, and desktop to follow us now. AIT.live. On air, online, online.
My guest has been Professor Echimero Kennamani, sitting senator and former governor of Enugu State, who talked a bit on the structure of Nigeria, which he believes is skewed, and he is insisting that the pre-independence agreement must be restored to really get the country going and functioning again. Of course, the absence of that has brought up agitations, restiveness, some will say, across Nigeria. Some say every part feels marginalized, and they are using different means to indeed express their resentment over that issue. We have a problem based on this distortion of the original situation. How do we begin to, in the interim, redress that?
Okay. We have, in Nigeria, we have problems on several fronts. One is poverty, national transformation, youth bulge, youth restiveness, critical infrastructure, right? A gap crisis, and a failed expectation framework. These problems are accentuated. They're accentuated, right? Under a normal condition, these problems would have been handled easily, but because of the restiveness, because of the injustice, because of the abandonment of the social contract, because of the non-governance, these problems are accentuated. Look at population dynamics. 1938, I believe, 1950, Nigeria population was 38 million. Presently, our population is ballpark 200 million. By the year 2030, we expect our population to be 236 million. And by 2050, we expect our population to be 410 million.
That would be the fourth largest nation. In
third largest from seven.
Populated.
Okay, so if you look at population dynamics, you find out that this population increase is within the age 15 to 65, the active population, not the dependent, less than 15 or 65. That is what is defined as the youth bulge. Okay. The experience of the youth bulge, other countries like India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, China have also gone through youth bulge. If a country can take economic advantage of the youth bulge, if enabling environment is provided, like health, education, skill acquisition, creativity, information technology, land, factors of production, entrepreneurial loans, agri-credit schemes. A country can use this to take advantage of the youth bulge. Hence, the country derives demographic dividend, right? Where a country refuses to provide an enabling environment to accommodate this youth bulge, you're going to have youth restiveness. You're going to have social irritability. You're going to have vulnerability to indoctrination. And then you have communal violence, religious violence, interreligious violence, intertribal violence.
Which are actually prevalent in the current situation.
That is the demographic bomb.
and we need to deal with them. Some of them are separatists in nature, like in the Southeast, we have the Biafra agitation.
Injustice. Okay, okay. Biafra agitation. Okay. Well, we talked about youth resting. We talked about youth board. Talked about unemployment. Unemployment rate 2015 was about 4.3%. Now it's almost 33.
Push it up to 35, right? Yeah.
Okay, 30%.
The present.
The nation is a detonation. Almost 40 trillion in debt. Look at the dollar exchange rising over 600. Right. So you see, look at the gap crisis, massive inequality, where you have geographical inequality, you have gender inequality, you have economic inequality. You know, when you talk about poverty, you have absolute poverty and relative poverty. Absolute poverty is where there's total lack, where you cannot fulfill your basic needs, which is food, water, shelter, education, safe drinking water. That is absolute poverty. And you know that absolute poverty does not change no matter the GDP, no matter the economic advancement. If you look at the early millennial years, the year 2000 upwards, Nigerian per capita growth rate was about 7%, right? Yeah, poverty jumped from 69 million in 2004 to about 120 million in 2010, with 44% increase in millionaires. So the problem is there's a gap crisis. While the few are getting richer, the majority are getting poorer. And of course, failed exploitation framework. Look at our constitution, 14.2a, that talks about we are a sovereign nation and the government derives its power through the constitution. 14.2b, that says that the welfare and security of the people, right, is the main business of government. But there's a failed social contract, right? The government has failed to fulfill, right? In exchange for power, give us A, B, C, D. Remove poverty, provide employment, reduce inequality, provide critical infrastructure, make us safe, provide a strong security architecture, right? So there's a failure of the social contract. That failure of the social contract is accentuated in the Southeast, that inequality by the Biafran agitation. Accentuated in the Niger Delta due to pollution, due to ecological degradation, acid rain. In the north, Boko Haram. Northwest, ISWAP. Fulani herdsmen. Local terrorism, so-called banditry. Are you following?
Okay, now, on top of all this demography you talked about that is pro-youth, is an ASU strike that has been on for months now. Are you concerned that the gap, relative deprivation gap you talked about may widen? I just got a case of a university student in my village who was killed by armed robbers while engaging in a small activity, whiling away time because of this strike. Are we concerned as a nation, as a people, over the long-term impact of this strike?
Yes. Other nations have come to confront unusual situation, unusual epochs with unusual answers, right? What is going on in Nigeria is unusual. It's like the great, the depression that FDR, Roosevelt, 1935, 1936, confronted with the New Deal, like the post-war efforts, the Marshall Plan, or 64, 65, LBJ Johnson, the Great Society, aggressive housing, health, education, Higher Education Act. Nigeria needs to confront our problems with unusual mechanisms. We need to sit down with ASU, put a price tag on it, go find the money and pay them off once and for all.
Okay, let's make a recourse to our Twitter. Some activities there. Mohammed OBS says, I salute Professor Chimaroke Nnamani, but he should know that Nigeria is revolving every day, but equality in Nigeria will not come at a flatter of gold. The regions that feel they are shortchanged should work peacefully for it and not through violence. Ambassador Ochendu says, ask a question here. What about collapsing all states back to the tripod stand as it was just around independence?
We can't do that. We're not going back. We're moving forward. The advantages of state creation is bringing governance closer to the people. As it were, giving people greater say. It may be costly, but it brings people closer to the table. And after all, that is what democracy is all about. You're not going to roll it back.
And creating further states, local governments to balance, should be what we should do
is to balance the power structure. You can balance it to what it was before by creating additional states in the southeast, creating additional local governments, a reflection of the power, the tripodal structure we had before the deflection of the power trajectory.
Okay, back to our Twitter feed. Ayola Charles,
based on a conference of ethnic nationalities.
Was it that conference? Yes, those London Constitutional Conference, Lagos Constitutional Conference.
Yes.
Is it going to be solely based on ethnic nationalities?
Yes.
What about the other interests?
No. Wait. We were sovereign African nations. Sovereign African nations. We went through slavery. Slavery to satisfy the new world, to provide manpower, right? Human resources for cotton, for agricultural, whatever. Then colonization to provide resources to drive the Industrial Revolution. We were sovereign countries. They had the conference, Berlin Conference, 1884, 1885, that chiseled us into a nation, right? And then Lagos Colony, Southern Protectorate, amalgamation, and our fathers met several conferences to chisel a nation based on a foundation called Nigeria. That foundation is not there anymore, on a tripodal foundation. That structure, the power trajectory is not there anymore. It has been deflected. So rather than each election season keep begging for zoning, what we need to do is to get back to the table.
Some negotiation, because I know in the 1960 59 general election that threw up the government, and the 1964 general election, that when the country, the regions were at parity, so to say, it was more of negotiations, alliances, cross-regional alliances, even negotiations between the NCNC and the MPC that didn't sail through.
Even the 79.
With Action Group and NCC
even
that didn't
79,
sail through.
even 79.
Yes.
One party couldn't.
Alliances were formed.
Alliances were formed.
Instead of please, is negotiations and agreements.
But alliances are based on the reality. Right?
Reality of
the political configuration. If based on the political configuration you find out that you need these people, you have to talk to them. But if you don't need them, you don't need to talk to them.
Okay.
Right?
Issue of parity. It balances everything, even in international relations. Back to our Twitter feed. Ayola Charles Olua says, well elucidated political analysis for Nigeria. It's high time we citizens eradicate either by active participation or censors the principle of supremacy of one region over the other. Democracy is about holistic inclusiveness, and leadership is good governance. The term principle of inclusiveness becoming more dominant when you talk of democracy. Chijoke Ejiofor says he has always enjoyed Senator Nnamani's intellectualism, even though he says you still have some explanations to offer when you ran his state, Enugu. Sure, he says the structure is badly skewed against the southeast, and he shares in the senator's fear of future consequences. This takes us to Enugu State,
yes.
The urban nothing. But let's quickly more tweets here that are coming in. Chidi Uhebu says, good morning, Prof. Glad to see you. Honestly, you're looking like Ben Obi. Some semblance here. Distinguished Senator, what is your take on the just concluded primary election of the PDP in the Southeast? But let's go into Enugu State.
Yes.
Your tenure there and the Ebano.
Well, my tenure in Enugu is self-evident. By the time we left a brand new state university built on a virgin land, a law school, teaching hospital, judiciary headquarters, water projects, roads, more importantly, human resource from Enugu. You can look at the Ebano philosophy through 3 fundamentals. One, the word Ebano itself. The word Ebano is a feel good. It's like hot afternoon, thirsty. You see Coca-Cola, right?
Before you continue, there are also allegations of increased thuggery during your time in Enugu.
It's okay. We'll address all that. We'll address all that. The Ebano phenomenon. That word is a feel-good phenomenon. You feel Coca-Cola. You see Coca-Cola when you're thirsty. It's going to elicit smile. The Ebano philosophy is all inclusion, level playing field, equal founders, equal joiners. If you want to be a governor, the satiation, the satisfaction you get from being a governor is also the same satisfaction the person who wants to be a councillor, right? So at the end of the day, everybody goes home with something, right? If they're announcing your name as governor, a family somewhere in the village whose father leaves every day to participate in the political process expect to come down with something. It could be councillor, it could be supervisor, it could be chairman. No name, no address, right? Then in terms of governmental policy, we talked about poverty. I'm sure when you talk about poverty eradication, seeds, Enugu State was #1 when we were there. You remember the visit of the European ambassadors to Enugu. We had a vibrant oppositions. We had a situation where Professor Chimere Ikoku, a former vice chancellor, was killed. Victor Wanko was killed. But the same way, Dikibo was killed, Harry Marshall was killed, Bola Ige was killed, Funsho Williams was killed. Right? Right? It's not unusual. Enugu has the highest, possibly the highest density per square area of tertiary students. Tertiary education. Education. There was, I'm sure a few days ago, you saw the tape of Father Mbaka, who apparently they claimed that 16 people were killed during the adoration. So
stampede,
so much noise, poison gas. What a vibrant opposition. Remember, the Ebano philosophy was a elitist rearrangement. We had a dysfunctional elite in the Enugu State, and we rearranged it and brought a new set of leaders. And of course, they couldn't take it. They had to fight us.
Father Mbaka has been in the news for some time. Do you still have a good relationship with him?
I never had a relationship with him, but I respect him. I respect him. Father Mbaka has provided succor to many poor, to many widows, right? He has programs in health. He has programs in terms of food supply, programs in shelter, even religious succor. Moreover, freedom of expression. What you have is democracy. If you say that somebody is stingy, what's the big deal? You say you're not stingy. You say you're not stingy. What is the big deal? If you say you're stingy, you say you're not stingy. It's democracy.
Yeah, he predicted that you were not going to win your re-election, and you eventually did. A lot of people are referring to it now as one of his failed prophecies.
Father Mbaka is a young Nigerian. Is it not interesting that I'm the one defending him? It is democracy.
Because we know you have some altercations with him.
It is democracy. He's practicing his art. You may say, you remember I told you, young people, when they dance boisterously. He's a boisterous dancer. His birth, Father Mbaka, is within the limits of his constitution to express himself and practice his art.
But the church sees it otherwise.
I believe it's an overkill. I believe
he has gone beyond the limits.
It's not in my position to decide on the Catholic Church what they do.
Okay, now you predicted while you were in power that the Ebano political group will last for 60 years.
Yes.
PDP predicted it will be in power for 60 years. It ended up at the center. 60 years.
Yes.
Ebano is still progressing. Is it still progressing?
Yes. Ebano and PDP are two different things. PDP is a political party where you have the good, the bad, the ugly. You have the bourgeoisie. You have the true elite. You have the fake elite. So it's an amalgam of all sorts. Ebano is just a simple association. Association of Enugu people.
Is it a movement or an association?
It's an association. It's also a movement. Fighting for a place under the sun. Fighting for political expression. As to whether Ebano is alive and well in Enugu, the answer is blowing in the wind.
Maybe you have to break it down for us.
Ebano is alive and well in Enugu State.
We don't really understand this.
Okay, virtually the political class in Enugu State is completely Ebano, almost 99%. Whether you agree or you don't agree, is Ebano. You're either a primary Ebano member, or you're a secondary Ebano member, or you're a tertiary Ebano member. Is either you joined as a member of Ebano, or you're a primary product of an Ebano member, or tertiary product of an Ebano member. When it is to the advantage, they say they're Ebano. But when it's to the disadvantage, they say they're not Ebano. But I can tell you that 99.99% of active politicians in the Enugu State within the polity are beneficiaries of the Ebano effort.
And you see that 60 years prediction coming out to play out?
That was the prediction of a young man with hindsight of all these weird white beard. It's not in my business to start predicting what will happen 60 years time. It's left for God to decide.
Are there some things you regretted while you were a governor of Enugu State?
Yes. The idea of progress is knowing areas where you are there things I could have done better. Many. Remember while we were in office, we had disengagement where some civil servants were disengaged. Eventually, we called back some. I wouldn't have done that. We had I was an American returnee, and if you can't do it, you get fired. So maybe I would have
the philosophy you brought in.
I would have fired less. I repeat that the young people dance, and they dance boisterously. The elders swear, and they swear majestically. So
is there an opportunity for you now, if you have not done so, to apologize to those that were affected?
Yes, I apologize to families who were disengaged. I apologize to families whose pensions were not paid as and when due. I apologize to families whose salaries were not paid as and when due. I apologize to families who were fired. I apologize to anybody who had the wrong stick from me as a result of being in governance. I apologize. And that is human.
That young thing, is it that when we bring it into governance, we run into these kind of mistakes?
No. I didn't say mistakes. So don't misquote me. Foundation. Okay. Foundationally, it could have been done better. Yeah.
Well, no decision is a bad decision, they say.
It could have been done better.
Our last question, PDP APC 2023.
PDP APC 2023. Well, I don't see the well. First of all, if it were a parliamentary system of government, you know it would not be difficult to have a vote of non-confidence on this APC government and have them discharged, right? Remember when PDP came in, Nigeria was a pariah nation. It was PDP that removed the pariah status and restored dignity of Nigeria. When we came in, by the time PDP government was living in 2015, exchange rate was about 100 naira to the dollar. Now it's over 600, right? Remember the unemployment was about 4.3%. You said 35%. Remember in terms of national debt, it was about 16 or 8.8 trillion. Now it's over 40 trillion. Look at the GDP, I believe. So everything has gone down south. When PDP left, Nigeria was the greatest economy in Africa. Now Nigeria is certainly not the greatest. You have South Africa.
But still the biggest.
Some even will claim that economies like Ghana, Egypt, Angola, Kenya are way ahead of Nigeria in terms of economic growth. So I believe that as we say in the National Assembly, PDP should just take a bow next year and form government.
Well, I know those in APC will not initiate his position with you, but he's right, his democratic right, and he has taken it. Dr. Chimaroke Namani, professor of gynecology, physiology and obstetrician, former governor of Enugu State and a sitting senator. Thank you so much.
Thank you
for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you also for being part of the program.
Thank you so much for your patience to watch from the beginning to the end. I hope you have learned something from the video you have just watched. The video you have just watched is to bring information to your doorstep and for educational purpose. It is not to demonize anybody. Let us watch continuously and see who can be able to make a sense out of every nonsense we are seeing. We must continue. We move. It doesn't matter what they do. It doesn't matter what they say. They will kill us. We'll kill them. At the end of the day, Biafra is here. Thank you for watching. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please kindly subscribe to the channel. Click the notification bell so that you're notified each time I upload a video. You will be among the first to receive it. Thank you and remain blessed. Bye-bye. See you again.